Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. To prove that it's not just the SNP that's able and generally able to create absolute slimeball MPs, I bring you the news that there is a Tory who has just had the whip removed. And this is a tale that is worth the telling. You won't believe how bad this guy truly is. It's worse, I think, than just about any other story for quite some time. It's the sort of thing, I think, that may well end up becoming a BBC drama. One of those very English, political things that people just won't believe actually happened. In years to come, they go, did that actually happen? Is that real? And yes, it is. Now, the guy's called Mark Menzies. Now, I'm saying Menzies. I know in Scotland it would be Mingis, because as in Ming Campbell and all that. But I believe he is... an English MP. So we'll go with the English spelling for it, which is a shame, because if it was Mingis, I could call him Minging Minis, but that isn't going to happen. So he's just going to be Slimy Menzies, which doesn't half sound like a disease of the skin, doesn't it? He's got a touch of the old Slimy Menzies. It's a groin infection, which is very apt when you come and we do this story about this guy. Because it's more than just this story. He's got form. And we're going to go through it all. Hold on to your hats. Here goes. So this story is actually in quite a few papers. But we're going to go with the Telegraph. It's as fine a paper as any other, I suppose. Being a broadsheet, you're not going to have all that sort of... fluffery, I suppose, of you get in the tabloids. So it's more informative than scandalous. But even so, this is one of these stories you're going to put in the I can't believe this guy is even there in his position when you hear his history. So Tory MP Mark Menzies investigated over claims he misused campaign funds. Let me tell you, you think the SNP are bad when it comes to this. And boy, do they have form. But this is astonishing. The filed MP reportedly said he'd been locked up by bad people and was demanding thousands of pounds for his release. Straight away, yeah? Straight away. There he is. Look at him. Slimy. Oleaginous. Snail-like, isn't he? Oh, he's a grotesque. Last thing I saw like that was hanging off a cathedral with water pouring out of its mouth. A Tory MP is being investigated by the party, and I'm surprised not by the police as well, although that may come. So he's been investigated by the party following claims he misused campaign funds. Mark Menzies also faced allegations he made a late-night call to a 78-year-old aide asking for help because he'd been locked up by bad people, demanding thousands of pounds for his release. The filed MP disputes the allegations reported by The Times, but the Conservative Party is looking into the claims and is taking them seriously. Because there's a lot of money gone missing, and it's not as though this guy is purer than the driven slow, because he is not. He's far, far from it. There was an incident 10 years ago when he was an aide to... who was it? Alan Duncan, I think he was the aide to. And that's why this guy gets straight into my mind as soon as I found this. I was, no, not him again. And he was an aide to Alan Duncan. Now we'll come to what he did when he was Alan Duncan's aide 10 years ago. Let's just go through here now, and then we'll have a wibbly wobbly moment, and we'll go backwards through time to sort of 2010 or so, I think 2014. Anyway, according to the newspaper, this is with the Times. £14,000 given by donors for use on the Tory campaign activities was transferred to Mr Menzies' personal bank accounts and was used for private medical expenses. So there was something wrong with him, which is clearly true, and he stole, effectively defrauded his own party in order to get them to pay for his medical expenses. The MP, who was one of Rishi Sunak's trade envoys, is also said to have called his 78-year-old former campaign manager at 3:15 a.m. one morning in December, claiming he was locked in a flat and needed £5,000 as a matter of life and death. Now, you have to, at this point, start wondering, why is he in a flat? Well, it's because he engages in what I will call a risky lifestyle. Now, I'll say up here, he's gay. That doesn't matter. I don't care that he's gay. Don't care how anyone gets their jollies. As long as it's not affecting me or not affecting anyone who's not happy with what they're doing, I don't care. But when you open yourself up to this kind of risk, then you have to start questioning these people's mentality. And you have to ask, are these people suitable to be representatives of the people? And I think you'll agree, no. Apart from the fact he's stealing money to pay for medical expenses, allegedly, and that he's ringing up elderly people demanding money on the threat to his life, which is clearly not going to happen. Again, dodgy. His lifestyle choices, not the fact that he's gay, but the way he engages in his endeavours, also questionable. And then we have the whole incident from 10 years ago, which I'll bring up. Anyway, the sum which he demanded rose to £6,500, was eventually paid by his office manager from her personal bank account, and subsequently reimbursed from funds raised from donors in the account named Filed Westminster Group. It is alleged, we have to put. According to a source close to Mr Menzies, the MP had met a man on an online dating website and gone to the man's flat, before subsequently going with another man to a second address where he continued drinking and other things. We know what they mean by drinking. He was sick at one point and claimed several people at the address demanded £5,000, claiming it was for cleaning up and other expenses. Now, if you're putting yourself in this position, you're deeply, deeply unwise. The people who put themselves in this position are not suitable to be representing people. I don't care if that's what you want to do. Fine, do it. But don't expect the public to be paying your clean-up fees. And by clean-up, they mean sopping up the gravy, I think. Anyway, the source said Mr Menzies decided to pay them because he was scared of what would happen otherwise, but did not have the funds to transfer the money from his own savings. He's not a very wise man, is he? Led by the horn, I think. Now, there are other occasions where Mr Menzies is said to have used money from the campaign fund to cover his personal expenses. In 2020, he allegedly sought £3,000 to cover medical bills, but he did not repay the money and instead asked for and received a further £4,000, the Times reported. The newspaper said a source close to the MP disputed this account and said that the former campaign manager had been the one who suggested Mr Menzies use funds from the business account to pay his personal medical expenses. But she is understood to deny this. So you've got people saying, no, it wasn't him trying to protect him. And then other people go, that never happened. That's bullshit. And of course it's bullshit. These are campaign funds, not Mark Menzies' personal account for his medical problems to cure whatever ails him. A further £7,000 was received by Mr Menzies from the account in November, it is alleged. Money stealing all over the place. Money. The man is a greedy, grasping... I mean, he's an MP. He's paid an adequate salary. And yet he still has to resort to what is basically fraudulent theft, isn't it? Embezzlement. In a statement to the Times, Mr Menzies said, I strongly dispute the allegations put to me. I have fully complied with all the rules for declarations. Or as there is an investigation ongoing, I will not be commentating further. Or even commenting further. My apologies. Reading is hard. A Conservative Party spokesman said the Conservative Party is investigating allegations made by regarding a Member of Parliament. This process is rightly confidential. Now, about 10 years ago, 2014, 2015, 13, 14, something like that, maybe 2015, about 10 years ago. And I mentioned this earlier, he was the personal aide to Alan Duncan. And he lost the whip and had to resign. And this at the time, it's obviously subsequently been forgiven and he was back into the fold. But this very weird, grotesque man 10 years ago was involved with a Brazilian. And I know what you're saying, how much is a Brazilian? Well, I don't know, but it's got a lot of O's. Well, he was involved with a Brazilian rent boy. Yes, this is how bad it's getting. And the rent boy made claims, and it was all investigated at the time, and whilst nothing was proven, I think we can all agree that it's possibly likely, maybe, salting that one, allegedly, rumour, got to cover myself, that he asked his Brazilian rent boy if he could be supplied with methadone, which is, I don't know, is it Class A, Class B drug, something like that? It's basically, an H equivalency. And so he wanted to sit there with his Brazilian rent boy doing hard stuff. And again was claiming it on expenses, apparently. When you've got a man who uses rent boys, takes hard substances, is allegedly thieving from his own party's funds, you have to, and living a very high risk lifestyle, you have to wonder, not only should he have the whip removed, but should he actually be suspended, and should he actually be allowed to be a representative of the people? It's stunning. How is he still an MP after what he did 10 years ago? That all came out and people still voted for him. Is it a case that in Filed they'll vote for anything with a blue rosette, slap it on the back end of a donkey and vote that into Parliament? It couldn't do a worse job, and there'd be less sex scandals and less money scandals. But to be involved in these 3 different scandals now and still an MP, dear oh dear oh dear. This time the whip must be removed fully and forever, and we have got the election up. And so hopefully, if the Tories have pulled the whip and make it clear that they're looking for another candidate in the forthcoming election, he is done. And he can take his grotesque, ugly face, find another Brazilian rent boy, bury himself in him, and cry himself to sleep. And look back at what he's done and regret the decisions he's made. What a knob. I'm coming up. Now, I'm almost 100% sure that that Preston journalist will be doing a story on this one. What with Files being next door to Preston. Literally next door. So Preston probably already knows this guy. But it's all over the place. Now, I do hope the good people of northwest Lancashire, isn't it? Yes. Show their support by not voting for him in the election. I mean, what an awful, awful man he is. Send him to Blackpool. That's a suitable punishment. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. You can't believe these people get away with it, and he's not the only one. They're all like it. This is why I loathe politicians, because they're all full of this self-centered narcissism that they think they can get away with it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. I'm pretty sure I've earned a like and a subscribe with this story. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and I will speak to you later. Bye.